should have been more straightforward.
Jumping out of an airplane is pretty straightforward.
I think it's all pretty straightforward.
Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Hey everyone, and welcome to TalkWord. This is the show where we really get into the nitty-gritty of English words. You know, what makes them tick. And today we've got a fantastic one for you. A word that's super useful, straightforward.
All right, let's kick things off with a little brain teaser. Ready? What on earth does a simple path, a straight road, have in common with a really honest person? Kind of weird, right? Well, hang on to that thought because the answer is actually hiding in plain sight, right inside our word for today. So, to crack that puzzle, we're going to have to do a little detective work. We're going to break this word down to its bones, starting with where it came from. It's a pretty cool journey, actually, from talking about a real physical path to describing someone's personality. Okay, so at its core, this word is just beautifully simple. I mean, it's literally made up of two words you definitely already know, straight and forward. Straight, right? That's a direct line, no wiggles, no curves. And forward is just, well, the direction you're heading. So you stick them together, and what do you get? Moving ahead in a direct line. Doesn't get much clearer than that, does it?
And this is where you can see the story of the word unfold. It all started with something super literal, a physical path. A road that goes straight forward is obviously super easy to follow. So people started using that idea as a metaphor, right? For things like an easy process, maybe some really clear instructions. Then it took another leap to describe direct communication, talking honestly. And from there, it's just a short hop to describing an honest person, someone who's got no hidden twists or turns in their personality. It's a perfect fit.
Okay, so we've seen the history. How does all of that come together into the word we actually use in conversations today? Let's connect the dots. And here we are at the main definition. So straightforward is an adjective, and it's got two big jobs. The first one is for things, a task, a plan, whatever. It just means it's uncomplicated, it's easy. The second job is for people. When you call a person straightforward, you're saying they're honest and frank. See the connection? In both cases, it all comes back to that idea of a direct line, no complications, whether it's a project or a person.
You know, a great way to really get a feel for a word is to look at its friends, its synonyms. Think about words you already use all the time. Words like simple and easy, those connect to the task meaning. And then you've got words like direct, honest, and frank, and those, of course, link up to the person meaning. They all kind of hang out in the same neighborhood, sharing that main idea of being clear and not messy or complicated.
Okay, definitions and synonyms are awesome, but let's get practical. How does this word actually sound out in the wild? Because context is absolutely key. Let's dive into some real-world examples. All right, first up, a classic example for a task. If you've ever tried to assemble furniture that comes in a flat box, you know the pain. It can be a total nightmare. But just imagine, the instructions are perfect. All the pieces are there. When that happens, you'd say the process was surprisingly straightforward. It just means that the journey from that chaotic pile of parts to a beautiful new table was a direct, simple line. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about a person. If you say something like, "I appreciate my boss because she's very straightforward," that's almost always a good thing. It's a compliment. It means she doesn't play mind games or leave you guessing. She tells you what she thinks, honestly and directly. You know where you stand. And let's be real, that's a quality most of us would love in a boss, right? And this last example really hones in on the communication part. A straightforward explanation. What does that mean? Well, it's the opposite of an explanation that's full of confusing corporate speak or legal jargon that's designed to hide what's really going on. Nope, a straightforward explanation is just clear. It's direct. It's an easy-to-understand story of what's happening. But wait, here's where it gets a little more interesting, a little more advanced. Straightforward is almost always a positive word, but it's not a free pass to say whatever you want. There's a fine line here, a really subtle but super important distinction we need to talk about. So it really makes you think, doesn't it? Is being straightforward always the right move? Can that direct, honest line sometimes cross over into something else?
And getting this right is crucial if you want to avoid a common communication mistake. So listen up. Straightforward is not the same thing as blunt. Not at all. Being straightforward means you're honest and direct, but there's this underlying sense of respect and consideration for the other person's feelings. Being blunt, however, well, that's when you're so direct that you end up being rude or hurtful. It's like honesty without any of the social padding. So the goal is always straightforward. Blunt, not so much. All right, we've traveled from a literal path all the way to some tricky social situations. Let's wrap this all up in a neat little package so you can walk away feeling totally confident using this word.
So if you only remember 3 things today, make it these. Number 1, straightforward means something is easy to do or easy to understand. Simple. Number 2, it can also describe a person who is honest and direct. And number 3, this one's the biggie. It's the positive and polite way to be direct. It is not the same as being blunt.
And to really lock this in, I want to leave you with a little something to think about. In what situation in your life would you absolutely 100% prefer a straightforward answer? Maybe from a doctor or a friend or even your boss. Mull that over. It's a great way to really make the word your own.
And there you have it, the whole story behind straightforward. I really hope this explainer was, well, straightforward for you. Hey, if you had fun diving deep into this word, you should definitely check out our TalkWord mobile app. You can actually create your own word explanations just like this one, with a couple of friendly hosts to guide you. It's a lot of fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.
I'm just saying I've always been straightforward with you.